Do I have to play as a girl? Can I play as a guy?
From what I've seen of Asmongold, he basically only accepts female protagonists when they are sufficiently attractive enough. He was praising Stellar Blade a lot for this, and then when he played it for about 2 hours and then stopped because it was too hard. Basically, women main characters in games are only acceptable when they are sufficiently sexualized to Asmongold. His entire view is coming from whether or not the game he can goon to the main characters or not. He thinks Stellar Blade is a step in the right direction, but couldn't even play 2 hours of it. There was a similar situation with Baldur's Gate 3. Constantly praised it for like months, it seemed, making videos about it non-stop, but didn't even play it when it came out. So really, why should we be taking any of his opinions seriously? And it's funny how he'll zone in on games that perform badly and have woke, quote-unquote woke things in them, and saying that the wokeness is what has made these games fail, while ignoring the fact that games like Baldur's Gate 3 have similarly quote-unquote woke things in them. Like, it's only woke when it's a bad game, when it has all this other bad stuff about it. Like God of War, Spider-Man, Baldur's Gate 3, they're all great games with quote-unquote woke things in them, but they're ignored because they're good games. Like Ghosts of Yotai will be a good game because we know that the Tsushima devs know how to make a good game. But since there's a girl character in it, he automatically thinks that it's going to be worse. It's just odd. Like, why would that make the game worse? Maybe if the Ghost of Yotai protagonist looked more like the girl from Stellar Blade, he'd be more accepting of it. Really, I think Asmongold is just kind of like a more covert synthetic man, really. They kind of, like, you look at the, I wouldn't be surprised if their fan base is overlapped. Like, they come out with similar kind of content and statements, with Synthetic Man being more mask off, I think. They even kind of look similar. They're kind of like the same genre of person. Commentators have been zoning in on this concept of wokeness in games and blaming it on everything. With Concord, for example, the only thing anyone would ever talk about was how it failed because it was woke or because of character designs, but really that wasn't the whole picture at all. There was barely any advertising. Nobody even knew it existed basically before a few months before it came out, and it was already a crowded market in the genre, so it's already a hard sell. The unappealing character designs were low on the list of problems that it had, but people looked at it and said, used it as an example of get woke, go broke, which isn't really entirely true. Like, for example, Forspoken and Saints Row, they didn't fail because they had a certain protagonist that looked a certain way. They failed because they were bad games. They were badly written, and the gameplay sucked. Like, they were just downgrades. But people will zone in on the protagonists or how things look and say that encompasses the entire problem, or this nebulous idea of wokeness. It's just really annoying. Like, for instance, Dragon Age, the new Dragon Age Veilguard thing, like, separately that game looks bad. Like, it just doesn't look very good. But then they'll zone in on this one thing, like top surgery scars being available as like a customization, like as if that even matters. it's an optional thing. I'm seeing it's like basically a dumbing down of video game criticism, where they don't actually have to engage their brain to find things that are actually wrong with games, and they just kind of point to this kind of boogeyman nebulous concept of wokeness as the main reason why games are worse these days. And really, and then they don't even play old games. It's like really odd. Like your entire channel or entire viewpoint that you proclaim every day is like, oh, new games suck, new games are terrible, the gaming industry is dying, but then they don't even play old games. So like, it's just really frustrating. So yeah, that was basically it. Just a bit of a rant video about the current state of video game criticism and what these people are doing and making loads of money off doing. It's just a sad state of affairs, really. We'll see ya.